Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. One more time. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam, bim bim bam, bim 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 bam, dai 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Shabbos, everyone. It's nice to sort of be here together in person and to share together as well. Wanted to create this opportunity for us to be a community, to see one another.
I know Rabbi's trying. Rabbi, say it again. I'm going to speak for Rabbi. He said we're going to keep broadcasting even when we're here live so that those of you who are at home can enjoy with us. And we might be broadcasting, but our Wi-Fi just went kaflooey. So
yeah, this is good. We're going to have lots of fun today.
We're going to have fun. It's an experiment, right?
We're going to make the Shabbat, and it's going to be good for us as a community. So one thing that's really nice is this is an opportunity to stay connected. So whether we're online or we are in person, Fridays in July, we're going to try this. Of course, weather permitting. Of course, we're schwitzing a little bit, us more than you. For those who are watching us online, well, our Wi-Fi went out, so they're not watching us right now. The sun's behind us, so you just get this weird shadow of an image talking, I guess. And that will be okay, right? So one thing I think we all feel together is the reality that we have power in numbers. We forgot that, I think, in the midst of these 3 months, this pandemic. And then when we look out into a crowd, we recognize what we do when we're together, but I think it's important for us, even in our homes, to recognize those connections and how to create that power. And to remind that in this week's Torah portion. For this week's Torah portion, No, it's going. Balaam is a sorcerer who's no, he's not. Yes, he is. He's a prophet for hire, and King Balak asked him to go curse Israel. And he is unable to because a number of challenges that the way. Nope, there it goes. You're gonna get everything. I'll just sing a song, Kenny.
So tonight is mostly a singing Shabbat, so it works out that way. We're going to sing Olam Chesed Yibaneh. The world is built on these things. Join with me. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Righteousness. And loving kindness. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Oh Lord, chesed I will build this world from love. I will build this world from love. And you must build, and you must build this world from love. And if we build, and if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed yivaneh.
So Balaam went to go curse the Israelites. He was told to try to do this. And as he did and looked out upon the community of Israel, as he opened his mouth, what he said was, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How good are the tents of the people of Israel. How lovely are their dwellings. He tried to, but he wasn't able to curse. Only blessings came out. And what the tradition tells us is that when we come together, people, in our tradition, kindness exudes from within. And in these past 3 months, we have felt that even when we haven't been together, but tonight we wanted to try to bring it together in this unique way. Even though we're in our cars, we're sitting in our lawn chair, some of us are enjoying the air conditioning. Nettie, you look like you're really enjoying the air conditioning right now. Point it this direction, please. I am not. If you're watching online, I'm sorry because the sun's behind us, and so you really can't see us. You see an image, and hey, and we're having some challenges with the internet. We're having some challenges with sound, but we're still here. It's almost as if Balaam is trying to throw a curse on us, but he can't because we're still here appreciating the blessings that we feel. And we're told one of the things that Shabbat is there for us is to find opportunity to savor experiences in life. That Shabbat is about savoring, because savoring helps us recognize the blessings that are there. It takes us out of just experiencing it and makes us look at it at that moment and appreciate the blessing right now. It helps us understand that which is good around us and makes us want to have more of it. And so that's why we are blessed each week with this time of Shabbat. To pause, to reflect, to find ways to savor, and to recognize that as a blessing in our lives. And that's what brings us together. That's what we share in together. That's why we can even pray together. If you're in your cars, feel free to stay. If you're outside your cars, you want to stand for the prayers, that's okay too. Again, we've all learned new things in this time, these months of the pandemic. And one of them, I think, is our flexibility in tradition. I once learned a reminder that's so important. The Talmud, the compendium of Jewish law, was given to us as a people to save Judaism from the Torah. That sounds weird. Save Judah from the Torah. The Torah, right? The 5 books of Moses, our faith is based upon that. But you know what? If we only follow the Torah, we'd be sacrificing animals and sprinkling their blood to the 4 corners of the altar. We'd only be allowed to pray in Jerusalem. And so when we weren't in Jerusalem, the rabbis looked at it, and with the Talmud, were able to reinvent Judaism and save it and keep it going. We cannot let Jewish law, the Talmud, do the same thing that they were so concerned about. We have to be flexible to make our Judaism live, to find meaning in these moments, to create a parking lot of Shabbat.
La 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 la
Prepare for Shema, reminding ourselves the watchword of our faith, reminding ourselves of God's presence in our lives and our world. So can we close our eyes? So can we take a breath? So can we prepare and listen, Shema, a little more keenly to our world?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Tevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Tevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
The next prayer that we join together under the words of the Hashkivenu. And the prayer that we join together in with these words is the rabbis wrote thousands of years ago with the idea that when we go to sleep at night, sometimes it's difficult to fall asleep, that the challenges of the week, of our lives, that my mic, we hear them, they run through our mind, that we have a rush of emotion sometimes.
Face toward the machine.
We have a rush of emotions that we can't get away from. And so they said, our petition in this prayer is that we ask God to help us to fall asleep. And that when we do that, our souls at night return to God so that God can renew them, refresh them, restore them. And that tomorrow morning we can wake up to life renewed, ready to go about our mission. And so I invite you for a moment just to close your eyes and to look within. Breathe in, slowly inhaling through your nose. Breathe out, exhaling through your mouth. As you do that, make sure that you're in a comfortable position. You're allowed to be seated if you want to, or to put your couch, lazy boy chair, your feet up, or your chairs and your cars back. Feel that air conditioning blowing, or the heat of the sun and its radiance in your brow. And picture your soul entering your body with every breath. That God shares those things that make you unique, that make you special, that make you who you are. And with every breath in, think of God strengthening those qualities, those wonderful blessings that you have. And as you breathe out, picture those same things, your soul returning to God to be refreshed and renewed. So that tonight, when we take that final breath as we go to sleep, that our soul to return to God. And that tomorrow morning we wake up to life renewed, refreshed, reinvigorated, and ready to fulfill our mission.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom V'hamiteinu Malkeinu Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom V'hamiteinu Malkeinu Ufros Aleinu Sukkah Shlomecha L'chaim u'shalom Me'ata v'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Ushmot Tzidkeinu, Uvoenu, L'chaim Shalom, Me'ata v'ad olam, Me'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim.
Next set of prayers that we join together into the words of the Amidah, the Avot, the Imahot, the Giverot, the Kiddushah, which in these first three prayers of this section, we're really taking a moment to butter God up. That we're saying, just like if God were a parent and we wanted something from that parent, that we praise them a little bit. Make sure that God is in that mood. Make sure that the parent is in a good mood so that when we ask for the things that we want or that we need, that God is more inclined to give them to us. But before we do that, we take a moment for our own private meditations. Because the rabbis realized that even within these words of the Amidah, on a weekday, which have 18 or 19 different blessings, 13 things in there that we're asking God for, that sometimes our heart is saying something else. Sometimes there's something else that we need that's not written in our prayer book. And so they gave us this moment of private meditation to be able to have our own private conversations with God. And so we take a moment now to please pray silently.
The thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters the day, and eternity utters the day. Thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering the song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters the day, and eternity utters the day.
For those at home or here who would like to, please feel free to rock.
Adonai, Sfatai, Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi, Yagi Tehina, Teha. Adonai, Sfatai, Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi, Yagi Tehina, Teha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah v'Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekone HaKol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imavot, Umevi Geula Lifnei Bneihem, Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Bezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Lehoshia Morir Hatal Mechakel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim Somich Noflim Verovei Cholim Umatir Asurim, Kayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamo Chabal Geburot, Umidom Eloch, Melech Memit, Umachaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atal HaChayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kdoshim B'chol Yom Yehalelu Chaseda Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Beyond our own private prayers, do we as a community turn to think those friends and family who are in need of healing, those who need a refuah shlema. And so we say, Mishiberach, Avotenu v'Imotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'Sar, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. Hu yivarech et hacholei. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, blessed our loved ones who are stricken with illness or anxiety. Alyssa Ayudo, Eugene Blakeman, Joel Bustle, Pat Carey, Karen Kasman, Patty Seresny, Bill Cooperstock, Lisa Dorff, Ezra Chaim Ben Devorah, Miriam Farber, Gary Fishman, Paul Fulton, Adele Gaba-Band, Howard Goldberg, Paul Goldberg, Dr. Barbara Goldman, Sylvia Goldman, Batia Batbeshia Panina, Charles Gross, Andrew Halo, Crystal Halo, Hank Heiser, Vera Hopkins Gordon, Rebecca Horn, Sarah Jacobson, Serafina Coughlin, Rick Kornspan, Yvonne Krasny, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Nina Livieva, Zoe Marcus, Beth Margolin, Florence Mars, Scott Miles, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Eric Perez, Leslie Pillings, Miriam Leah Batdanel Esther, Sarah Pomerantz, Jean Richmond, Alan Rosen, the Saint Amand family, Erna Schoen, Amy Selmanoff, Suzanne Zalesnik Smith, Fran Sunny, Chaim Shmuel Ben Noach, Kochav Ben Noach, Sherry Weiner, all those battling coronavirus, both at home and in hospitals. The 20,095 American troops who've been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan to date, as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberos imotenu mekor habracha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And as we get time to speak, those, as we think of those who are the healers. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick. Bless those who continue to go above and beyond. Everyone who puts their needs above others, the needs of others above their own. Bless those who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day, tending to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home, and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them, strengthen them that they may bring strength, keep them in health, that they may bring health. Bless the sacred work of their hands. May this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days. And let us say, we continue with our prayers of adoration and conclusion. Amen.
Aleinu l'shriach nadon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשה כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Nothing can fill the emptiness that a death leaves behind. Those who are no longer a physical presence are still alive within our thoughts and our words. Their memories are only a part of the picture. So long as we recall their presence, then their warmth, their friendship, their hearts, mind, and thought are still within our soul. We honor and cherish the ones we love by living our lives to the fullest. And so on this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, whose Shiva and Shloshim we mark. Loretta Ziegelman, Charlotte Merritt, Evelyn Soroka, Manuel Sklar, Rayshard Brooks, Laverne Cleary, Robert Rubin, Marion Popper, Rose Estelle Kogan, Benedetta Vella, Tim Thomas, as well as those who Shana we mark, Laura Roth, Stephen Averbuck, Susan Averbuck, and the 2,420 Americans in our armed forces lost in Afghanistan and the surrounding areas to date. And to their names, we had those whose yard sites we mark, those whose anniversary lovingly commemorate. Abraham Adelson, Minnie Nathanson Adelson, Samuel Baum, Louis Bellett, Esther Berkowitz, Mo Bershad, Sidney Blackman, Rose Blau, David Buckfire, Charles Cohen, Mary Evelyn Cohen, Nathan Coleman, Cal DeRoven, Marcia Diskin, Raymond Dobrinsky, Seymour Faber, Ann Feldman, Robert Fisher, Abe Friedman, Harold Ira Gatch, Jackie Gage, Charlotte Gertner, Edward Glick, Bobby Goldberg, Maxine Goldberg, Estelle Goldsmith, Lawrence Gunlack, Edgar Hartman, Pearl Harold, Dr. Sidney Hillenberg, Sally Hinley, Lillian Hirsch, Earl Simon Hordes, Abe Ingberg, Deborah Jo Jacobs, Gerald Kanarick, Eileen Carson, Max Keene, Malcolm Korepa, Albert Lenser, Marilyn Lippman, Timothy Lundy, Morris Lurie, Nan Mainwold, Bernard Margolis, Abraham Meadow, Ella Meisner, Judith Carol Mendelson, Michael Allen Myers, Shirley Bertha Mills, Max Nyman, Judith Owens Stern, Lev Pevsner, Leslie Mark Pines, Samuel Rosenthal, Joseph Roth, Vera Rosenberg, Charles Rubin, Phyllis Schwartz, Rose Ginsburg Sherman, Easter Shumshinov, Bernard Sloan, Hyman Solomon, Beatrice Stillman, Michael Lee Stockler, David Weinstein, Sadie Weissman, Benjamin Wenson, Ellie Wiesel, Elaine Wolf, Benjamin Zager, Helen Zoya. Along with all the names in our hearts, do we join together as one family, as one community, in the immortal words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Belma, Divarach, Verite, Vamlich Malchute, V'chayachon, Uvyomachon, Uvchaye, the whole Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala, Uvizman, Kariv, Vimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba, Mivarach, Le'alam, Omei Almaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Kusha Brichu. La'ela min kol virchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba mim shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, huyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. For the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. As together we say, Amen.
Shalom, Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Well, I've been told that all of you are here 34 years ago, when 33 years, 34 years, 33, 2, whatever years ago, 32 years ago, at the first service of the stars. So now hundreds of people will tell us they were all at the first drive-in service. And we know, there you go. Let's give it the honks. Come on. Yeah. There you go. Honk for Hashem. So, I'm sorry, I just wanted to.
Truthfully, I thought they go, Yaseh shalom.
Honk.
That's why I was waiting.
We'll try for the closing prayer. So, but you're a part of something unique, special. We're trying things. Humbly, we admit we don't have all the answers, and we figure it out as we go along. And so you help us. Thank you. And we appreciate all of your kind feedback as we're, working through these things. But as always, we do have time for Tish before we conclude our services. If you haven't signed up for any of our adult ed happenings, the Zoom class to Israel at 12 o'clock, we're starting. Is it the 5th class or is it a new session?
We're on our 5th class this upcoming Tuesday. We have
5th time.
A graffiti tour of Tel Aviv, which should be interesting because graffiti talks about some of the contemporary issues and challenges and exciting things that people share. And so we'll be able to tour that graffiti, learn from some of the artists as well that put some of those things up, and it'll be a wonderful way to learn about Israel and modern issues.
Excellent.
On Wednesday night as well, we have our third trivia night.
Third trivia night.
A lot of fun for those who've been a part of it. I know some people are already
Return
signed up.
champions
over there I see are signed up. And it's a fun way to just be able to gather together with friends in a safe way online. And so 8 o'clock on Wednesday night, registration is still going on. There's great prizes. First prize has ranged from $150 to $100 so far. And we have prizes for the top 3 teams and then some bonus prizes as well that we test individuals and have a little bit of fun too. So that's Wednesday night, and sign up is all online.
Thanks for following us all on our Facebook feeds and different things we're doing, from my Monday morning musings and the different opportunities I've had to study with different individuals in these past weeks. Really appreciate that too. Every Monday at 9 a.m. This Monday might be at 9:30 though, but we'll see. Hey, a few special shout outs for making these services today work. Brian Fishman, who's schlepping whatever it takes, our executive director. Audrey Bloomberg behind the scenes at Temple doing our digital. Wow, yes. I like that. Art Fitchman was here setting up. We didn't know he'd be here setting up, but he was here setting up, of course. Of course, Art was here setting up. And to all of you, to Michael Pearl helping with security and schlepping. And to our friends from Star Treks who are here helping us park, getting us equipment, and sharing with us as well to make our services even better. All appreciated. And now for a Tish question or two. Rabbi, you have a question to share with us.
I do have a question, but one more shout out and a thank you. I don't see him here at the moment, but Stan, part of our maintenance team, was also.
Oh yeah, Stan was here too. Thank you.
Stan back there. Excellent. So thank you to Stan.
I like the honks. You know, it's going to be a whole new high holidays. Blow your shofar. Tekiah!
What's going to be even more fun is next year for the high holidays when people have air horns in the sanctuary.
Was Svi helping too?
Svi too, yes.
So thank you, Svi was helping and yes, sir.
So a couple of questions did come in.
Yes.
And if you have questions that are here, if you're watching online, you can post those questions and Audrey will get them to us. If you're here in the parking lot, there's a cell phone number on that sheet of information. And I'll take the first one from there. It was actually from our president, Keith Leblett, who's here in the parking lot. And the question was, is this the first ever drive-in Shabbat? So as Rabbi mentioned, for us, it is.
Oh, there's Stan. Hi, Stan.
For us, it is the first drive-in Shabbat, but we have friends around the country who have tried this, who actually helped us out. I'll give a shout out to Temple Beth Shalom in New Albany, Ohio. Who those of you who are taking the Israel class, you've been on with them. They actually did one of the first ones, and we stole a lot of their information to be able to help us set this up and make it in a healthy and safe way as well, and to be able to communicate that. So it's our
Excellent.
first one, but not the first one around the country. Rabbi?
Yes.
The next question comes from Mitch using Janie's computer. So hello to the Kleins. The question is, do you have a point of view on how you reconcile Black Lives Matter with the recent march that was both anti-Semitic and anti-Israel?
So to the challenge in our community with some statements that have come out of Black Lives Matter, and in a march in DC this week, there are people who are shouting anti-Israel rhetoric and things that were, we link, if you speak badly in that way against Israel and call Israel an oppressor, there's a lot of anti-Semitism couched in that too. So it's a good question because it is something that's challenging for us. And here's the reality, nothing is perfect. And so we should fight that and stand up against that while still supporting the idea of Black Lives Matter. I'm not necessarily giving my money to Black Lives Matter, the organization, but the idea that Black Lives Matter, I think, is really important for us as Jews to recognize. And so that's why Rabbi and me have been to some marches and protests and believe in that as well. But when we hear things like that, we will speak truth to that and share the challenge with it. Now, let me say that there are anti-Semites in everything, it seems, just as we find racists in the midst of everything too. And if I can make the parallel to something that happened in our tradition, for example, many of us may remember when we marched in support of Soviet Jewry in the 1980s, right? I went to Washington, D.C. We started up a group. Keith Loveland was a member, a proud member, charter member of Duke Students for Soviet Jewry. And we went, 11 of us in a van, to Washington, D.C. Gorbachev was there in D.C. visiting Reagan. And, Anatoly Sharansky was still held in solitary confinement at the time, speaking about the reality that Jews couldn't be Jews in Russia and to let them out, right? Before the Iron Curtain came down. So it made sense, that organization. Of course, it began with individuals like Meir Kahane. Meir Kahane is one of the most rabid, racist Jews who ever lived. And he's not someone that we'd ever want to be in line with or supporting. His political party in Israel is not allowed, because seen as a terrorist organization. But he was responsible for mobilizing people and getting that started. So I would never stand together in a sense with Meir Kahane saying I support his views. However, that movement was much more important than him and had many more people who were a part of it who were progressive in their views, accepting of all. And I believe the same thing is true as we see in this country as we battle racism. There are really people who equate that, and some of the originators in Black Lives Matter 6 years ago put up on their platform the idea of any oppressed people and picked out the Palestinians above anyone else outside of America as the greatest oppressed people. Not talking about anyone in China, Muslims, or anyone else, or anywhere else in the world, only Israel, which of course is anti-Semitic and holding Israel to a different standard, and something that we speak against. So it's a challenge. I will not deny that, but I still will stand together with the idea of this movement that Black Lives Matter. So quickly as an answer and a challenge we face. Rabbi, you have anything to add to that?
Perfect.
Perfect. I don't know. I don't think it was perfect, but okay. Mitch will talk more about it, I'm sure.
A question for Cantor from Bunny. The question is, where's the giraffe?
I left the house and I got here and went, oh darn, the giraffe does not make personal appearances at the synagogue. I talked with him, and Gigi at the moment is the name. We're going to look for a better name, but I like that.
There
so
were
far.
people texting me privately asking if the giraffe's name was Daniel. I just
No,
wanted to say.
no.
I mean, that was a question raised to
So,
me. That's all.
everybody-
I like the name because Daniel always put his neck out there, stretching it out
That's
for
true.
us and the Jewish people. How about that one?
That's a great
Good
answer.
save, right?
Good save. So I walked by a baby store long before I had a grandchild, very long before. Let's tell you a little bit about me. And I fell in love with this little giraffe. So well, he's not so little, this big giraffe. And I keep it in my living room next to a table that my father brought back from India during World War II. It's got giraffes and zebras and stuff and elephant legs with tusks made of ivory. It's really cool little table. So that's where the giraffe comes from. And
Ivory?
yeah, well, sorry, it was back in World War II. What can I say?
Right.
Fake ivory. Fake
There you go.
ivory. There you
Well,
go.
this is a sweet time for us to be together. It's remarkable when we think about the reality that we have not been in person. And even though we can't hug right now, which is so contrary to us as Jews, as Temple Shir Shalom community, as hugging people, but this will make do, right? And it's good to see one another a little closer, being safe in this way together. So we give thanks for sweet times like this, the sweetness of our life, as we join with Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. So in a moment, we'll join together in the motzi. So if you've got your challah in the car and you eat gluten, now is the time to get that out. But before we do that, I'm going to explain one thing for those people who are here. What's going to happen in a moment after we do the motzi? Our Parker attendants have left the building and the parking lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the back row, and we'll have you load up your cars first and just back out. Be careful. We'll go across this way, and then we'll do the second row, the same thing where we'll start down at this end with the brewers, have you back out, and then we're all going to be using the same normal exit that we have here at Temple, and then we'll go with our last row as well, so that you can exit as well. So that's the way that we'll do it. Please make sure that the car to your right and the cars behind you have left before you. But with that, we unwrap our delicious challahs from one of my favorite places, because they have a good one, and we join with Cantor.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Te'avon and Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
That rhymes. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav v'lecha v'choneka.
May God shine upon you, and may God shine through you.
Yisach Adonai panav v'lecha v'yisim lecha shalom.
May God bless you with all of what we hope for and dream for in this world. May God give us gezind health, parnasa success. But may have nachas from kinder, from our children, from our community, from one another, kindness that we exude in this world. And most of all, may we bless with shalom, with peace in our hearts and our mind. May we help bring more peace into our world. Let us all say, Amen.
Vayisem lecha shalom.
I had to get that one for all of you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Good Shabbos.